All right, welcome back to Black Cat Crypto Club, everybody. My name is Drake, and we are going to be getting into a little bit more of Ethereum stuff today. In my first Ethereum video, I really got into kind of DeFi and the implications of Ethereum and DeFi. Today, I want to go into a little bit more specifics with this Dencun upgrade that's going to be going live here very quickly. And I also want to get into some information with the ETFs. So stick around. We've got a lot of really interesting information in this video. And I think Ethereum's going to do some crazy things. So stick around. I'm going to jump over here. If you guys have seen any of my other videos, you know that I'm spotlighting ezsrescueranch this entire month. These guys are a small sanctuary, guys, so anything you can donate to them really helps. Also, it helps lower your tax liability, so it's a win-win. And like I've said before, this channel is really geared towards the underdogs and helping the underdogs. And if there's any underdogs out there, it really is these animals that have been abused or abandoned and are now finding shelter at these animal rescues and animal sanctuaries. So go over and check them out. The PayPal is at the bottom of that flyer. And I will also leave that PayPal and all of Easy's other information in the description of the video. So go over there, show them some love, and we are going to get into it. So with this Dencun upgrade, first of all, let's jump over and just look at the Dencun upgrade countdown. You can see we are under 5 days now until this upgrade goes live on the mainnet. So this is going to be big news, guys. So with this Dencun upgrade, what Dencun is essentially is it is going to help the layer 2s that are on Ethereum. It's going to free up some storage and allow these layer 2s to operate more efficiently and probably lower their fees. So let's jump back over. I'm going to show you a list of Ethereum layer 2s. You can see right here we've got Polygon, we've got Immutable X, Arbitrum, Stacks, we've got Optimism down here, OX, Chainlink is probably on here somewhere, and the list just goes on and on. I think this list, yeah, we go to 60 here. I don't know if this is a all encompassing list of the layer 2s on Ethereum there, but as you can see, there's a lot built on top of Ethereum. So Ethereum network is actually one that isn't going away, guys. This is a massive ecosystem. And so this Dencun upgrade, it really is geared towards the layer 2s. But what I will say is there are ways to send Ethereum using these other networks. And so it brings that gas fee down from, we've seen lately, $15+ for a single Ethereum transaction. If you do it on some of these layer 2s, for example, I have sent Ethereum on Arbitrum, and I've also sent Ethereum on Optimism. And what it does is it takes that $15 gas network fee way, way down. If I remember correctly, I think Arbitrum and Optimism were right around like 3 cents or something. It might have been a little bit higher. It might have been like 15 or 20 cents. But the point is it takes it down from $15 to just pennies. And so that's really big. And if this Dencun upgrade improves that even more, what I think is going to happen is we're going to see a lot of that main net activity flock to these layer 2 networks and start transacting there. And hopefully that will make the main net less congested and bring those gas fees on the main net down even further. So indirectly, it's probably going to affect the gas fees on the main net. Now, the problem I have with layer 2s, and from my experience of sending Ethereum on Arbitrum and Optimism, is that it just kind of complicates things. So, and it kind of made things a little bit stressful for me when I was sending Ethereum on Arbitrum and Optimism. Now, admittedly, this was the first time I'd ever done transactions on these layer 2s. So maybe when you do more of it, you get more comfortable with it. But for me, it kind of stressed me out because I didn't know, for example, if the wallet I was sending to my Coinbase wallet, and I wasn't entirely sure if those networks were like supported, and I didn't really know what I was doing. So I didn't know if I was going to lose the amounts that I was sending if it wasn't supported, or what was going to happen. Now, I didn't lose any of the money that I sent and everything worked out, but that's the point, is using these layer 2s to do Ethereum transactions is just an extra complication. And the user experience right now, in my opinion, isn't there. It doesn't make things as simple as the majority of people need it to be. For example, I wouldn't suggest that my mom go out and do transactions for Ethereum on Arbitrum or Optimism. It's too complicated. And it's not terrible. It's pretty straightforward, but if you don't know what you're doing, it is complicated. So I don't know. Comparatively, for example, sending Solana on Solana's mainnet is under a cent, and it's simple. You don't need to know anything other than what wallet you're sending to is a Solana address. So, doing that, very basic, doing layer 2 stuff just kind of adds a little bit of a complication. That said, like I said, hopefully it'll take a lot of the network off the main net, and it will bring the main net fees down, because that's really, I don't know. The transacting on the main net is much more straightforward, in my opinion. Now, I do hope that Ethereum continues these, and I think they are working on continuing scalability and upgrades coming out this year, hopefully. But I think this Dencun upgrade will be positive for Ethereum. If it comes out and it's just kind of this big pile of nothing, then what? What's going to happen to Ethereum price then? In my opinion, it doesn't affect Ethereum too much. It might short term, a day or a few days, maybe the price goes down if public perception or reception of this upgrade isn't as positive as people expected. Maybe it goes down in the short term, but long term, Ethereum is strong, guys. It's a major ecosystem, and there's a lot going for Ethereum. Like I said, we have these ETFs that are being approved, going to be approved this year, in my opinion. But also, you have to remember, we are in the middle of a bull run right now. And when crypto goes in these bull runs, it takes more than just an upgrade that did nothing. And I'm not saying it's not going to do anything. I think it will be a great upgrade for Ethereum. But it would take more than that to really hinder Ethereum. Ethereum's going to do great, guys. I want to get over to, let's get into these ETFs, these Ethereum spot ETFs that are about to be approved. We're going to go back over. This is a tweet from Satoshi Stacker. And what this is a new filing reveals the SEC met recently with Coinbase representatives to discuss Grayscale's filing to convert their Ethereum trust into a spot ETF. Now, this came out today, just a hour or so ago. And why this is so important is we've got to go back and look at what the SEC's reaction and treatment of was for the Bitcoin ETFs. So if you weren't around, Bitcoin has, for the last 10 years, been constantly denied on these spot Bitcoin ETFs by the SEC. And they weren't ever even really taken seriously by the SEC until this last round that we finally got approved. And the reason for that, well, we'll get into the reason why they were approved here in a second. But historically, what the SEC did with the Bitcoin ETFs was they would deny for all of the short-term deadlines. They would just deny or delay, and then that final deadline where they had to approve or deny, they would just deny these Bitcoin ETFs. There were no meetings happening. Like I said, the SEC didn't even take it seriously. They didn't meet with anybody. There was no feedback, back and forth between these entities applying for ETFs and the SEC. There was nothing. It was just a delay, deny. And what happened with Bitcoin to get it approved this last time, when we finally saw approvals in January, was that Grayscale took the SEC to court for denying their application. And what the courts found, and this was I think the ruling for this was in September, but what the courts found was that they came hard against the SEC. They came out and said the SEC acted capriciously and arbitrarily, and said they basically said you can't approve Bitcoin futures ETFs, which the SEC had done back in 2020 or 2021. Anyways, they did approve these future Bitcoin ETFs, but they were continuing to deny these spot Bitcoin ETFs. And the court said, futures markets for one asset, they really perform the same. Like, it is the same underlying asset. So you can't approve one and deny the other for the reasons that you've given anyway. And so Grayscale won that court case, and the SEC admitted defeat. They didn't appeal it, and they eventually in January went on to approve these spot Bitcoin ETFs. And they did so begrudgingly. You know, if you look at Gary Gensler's interviews and statements after being approved or after approving these Bitcoin ETFs, it's kind of funny because he's definitely mad about it. Said really bad things even in the approval of these ETFs. And we'll get to Gary Gensler here in a minute, because there is a big reason why Gary Gensler is doing what he's doing. He is an expert on Bitcoin and blockchain technology. He taught about it at MIT when he was a professor there. So, and he said before he became the chair of the SEC, he's been really pro Bitcoin. He even said while he was teaching at MIT, he said it's crazy we don't have Bitcoin ETFs yet, back when he was teaching. But then he gets into this SEC position and things flip. But we'll get into that in a minute. What I am going to say is, you know, going back to this tweet, this interaction with the SEC and these entities that are applying for these Ethereum ETFs is really a positive thing. And I take this as a signal that these ETFs are definitely going to be approved. Now, this is another tweet from Money Gang Crypto, and this just kind of shows the deadlines for these ETFs and what ETFs are filed as far as spot Ethereum ETFs. And over here, you can see it's all the same players that just got their Bitcoin ETFs approved. We've got Van Eck, we've got ARC21, Hashdex, Grayscale, Invesco Galaxy, iShares. Now, iShares is BlackRock. So BlackRock's in this race as well, and Fidelity also. But the important part about all of this is if you go over, like I said, there's these intermediate deadlines, but what you really want to look at is this first final deadline. And that's May 23rd. May 23rd is the deadline you're really going to watch, because of course the SEC is going to delay every other intermediary deadline for all of these ETFs. They're going to delay them. But May 23rd is the day on the calendar you're going to need to mark to watch what happens, because if Ethereum is anything like Bitcoin, and it is, you know, we had that court case already with Bitcoin where the court said you can't approve futures ETFs and not approve a spot underlying, you know, Bitcoin ETF. Well, we've got the same situation going on with Ethereum. The SEC just approved futures ETFs for Ethereum. I think they just approved them last year, 2023. So unless they want another court case from Grayscale and BlackRock and all of these other filers, they have to approve this. And if they do go to court, the court is going to tell them the same thing, that they cannot approve futures ETFs of an asset and then go and deny the same asset's spot ETF. So in my opinion, they have to. And I don't think the SEC wants another lawsuit. What we've seen this last year with the SEC and lawsuits against cryptocurrency companies and anything crypto related is the SEC has lost any face value that they've had, any reputation that the SEC has had. They have completely lost this last year, because every single court case about that we've had involving crypto and the SEC, the courts have constantly sided with cryptocurrency and sided against the SEC. There was one just recently that the SEC had frozen this company in Salt Lake in Utah called Debtbox. They had frozen all of their assets, and they froze all of their money and their assets for months, like 6 months or so. And if there's one way if you want to kill a company, just freeze their assets for 6 months. How is that company going to survive? But what happened was the SEC went to court. They said, Debtbox, this company in Utah, is stealing customers' funds and they're moving money to offshore accounts. And so we need the court's permission to freeze all their assets. And the court said, yeah, it sounds like that's what we need to do. So they froze all their assets. Debtbox took the SEC to court over this. And what they found out, what the courts found, was that this whole previous argument that the SEC made about Debtbox stealing customer funds and moving money offshore was a flat out lie. Every bit of it, the SEC flat out lied. They basically perjured themselves. So the Salt Lake judge in this case came out extremely hard against the SEC, threatened to sanction the SEC. And the SEC fell down on their knees and they said, we're sorry, we messed up, we've learned our lesson. Please, there's no need for sanctions. And so I doubt they actually will be sanctioned, but they have damaged their reputation so badly that I just don't see them wanting another court case that they know they're going to lose. So I see these ETFs being approved May 23rd. But we will see. Now, I do want to also share this history with you guys about Gary Gensler and just why he has flipped from being a pro Bitcoin professor who taught about blockchain technology at MIT to being so anti against it. Because if you ever hear him talk about Bitcoin, he says horrible things now that he's chair of the SEC. And a big reason for that, and a big turning point for him, was it dates back to FTX. And reportedly, Gary Gensler was a family friend of Sam Bankman-Fried, the owner, CEO of FTX. And he was openly seen as giving FTX this preferential treatment. You know, he would take meetings. He took multiple meetings with Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX. At the same time, he would deny any meetings with Coinbase or any other exchange. But if you're Sam Bankman-Fried, yes, step into my office. And so when FTX went down, Gary Gensler had a lot of mud on his face because he had been seen as showing this exchange, FTX, preferential treatment. So instantly, Gary Gensler flipped, and all of a sudden, oh, I'm tough on crypto. And he immediately made a 180 and started going after Coinbase. They have taken a suit against Coinbase, Binance. All of these other court cases, they've just really overstepped their bounds, and the court is showing that. The court is coming out and saying, no, you guys are acting completely unfair against this new technology sector, and you can't do this. And so the reputation of the SEC and Gary Gensler especially has really gone down the drain over the last year. So I don't know. Gary just, I think he was just really trying to save face after the whole FTX thing, and he's really just made this overreaction and just gone way too far the other way. But as far as the Ethereum ETFs go, I don't see them picking that fight again. They know they'll lose. And so May 23rd, guys, this is going to be a big moment for Ethereum. It's going to open those floodgates just like it did with Bitcoin. Ethereum's going to be traded on Wall Street, and it's going to open up that entire new investing class, and money is just going to flow into Ethereum, just like we've seen with Bitcoin. So from a pure investment stance, Ethereum is amazing. The only issue I even have with Ethereum is their gas fees, because $15 per transaction it's pretty hindering. So that's my only criticism of Ethereum, really. But I love Ethereum. I love decentralized finance. I think it's amazing. It's going to change the world. I really look forward to scalability upgrades coming to Ethereum. So with that, guys, I'm going to wrap this video up. If you liked any of this, please give me a like and subscribe. Please share this with anybody that you think will be interested. And make sure you hit that notification bell, because on videos like the one I did earlier today, where I was looking at Bitcoin price and we're looking at the charts of the day, really those videos become outdated within a day or two. So if you're not getting a notification on when I'm dropping my videos, you're going to miss some of those relevant videos. And if you get them a day late, if you see them a day late, it's already too late for a lot of these videos. So make sure to turn on the notification thing so you guys can get that relevant information while it is still relevant. And with that, guys, I am going to get off here, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.